Welcome back to our show, your show, Let's Talk Stocks. In studio with us this morning is Vijay Tolan, and of course, he's the general manager of Blue Power Limited. That's, of course, the award-winning Blue Power, a junior market listed company on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Welcome, Vijay.
Thank you, Neilson. Happy to be here.
All right, great. So, Blue Power.
Blue Power.
I mean, you've been winning lots of awards. That's the latest one you've gotten, JMEA.
Yeah, we won at the JMEA. We won the best performing company on the junior market for a manufacturing company specifically.
Okay.
So that was for us a very welcomed win. We're happy that we won that award, and it's been motivating us to push forward.
You listed on the junior market round about what? About 20.
I believe we were the second company to list
10
on the
to 10,
junior
10,
market.
11,
Yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, we're the second.
second company
Yeah.
to be listed. How has that experience been though for Blue
Well,
Power?
for the company, I wasn't there at the time, but I think it was a decision that Dr. Tanner, who was the chairman at the time and the founder, really welcomed as a strategic move. And I can see where, as a company, we have developed because of listing.
Yes.
Just opportunities for growth, insight that we've received. Lombard Depot at the time was a part of the Blue Power Group as well.
Yes.
And as you can see, or as you know, as it is now, we've split. So Lombard Depot is now its own company on the stock exchange. So it was a win, I believe, for the Blue Power Group at the time. I don't think there are any regrets.
Of course. So manufacturing though has been quite a challenging industry, certainly in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Over the years, I mean, things seem to have evolved into different cycles and so on. How have you managed to navigate manufacturing industry?
So it's been tedious, to say the least, particularly coming out of COVID. I think as a company, what's great about Blue Power is that we have a lot of knowledge that started with the company. So the institutional knowledge is there. Dr. Tanner, who is still on the board, Lisa Kong, who is our executive director, and many other supervisors on our team have been there from day one. And they really took the time out to understand the business, to understand the supply chain, to understand global prices, to understand our customers' needs, to understand prices out there in the trade. And so we have a pretty good overall understanding of what our customers require, what we require to be viable, to be profitable. And we do our best to maintain excellent relationships with our suppliers. And a lot of times, as you mentioned, manufacturing can be difficult because you're bringing raw material in from across the world, and if prices skyrocket, if shipping prices go up, then you have a problem. And I guess this is where the management comes in, and we've been pretty. I said we've been fairly successful at this in terms of managing how we move our prices, managing how we relate to our customers, because at the end of the day, if we don't have customers, we have a business as a manufacturing company. So we've really done our homework in terms of understanding our customers and the supply chain. And I would also say that our senior management team tries to be very realistic in what we expect. We understand that manufacturing is tough. We understand that at times prices will fluctuate on the global markets. And as a leadership team, we have agreed how we will treat these circumstances. And a big part of that is not just simply being reactive, but rather using our knowledge to navigate what we think the forecast will be, and based on that navigation, make decisions.
As you speak about that, because that's quite interesting, because you're coming out of pretty much 2 years of COVID.
Tough period.
Immediately after COVID, or towards the slowing down of COVID, we saw clearly challenges with, as you mentioned, the whole transportation, the whole logistics sector, and you would have it on both sides.
Yes.
Because you're bringing raw material in, and then you also have to look at how much do I put out on that supply line
Yes,
you know.
yes.
So how did
Yeah,
you manage to navigate?
I'm even going to throw some. Yeah.
And then you went into inflation.
Yes, and I'm going to throw another spoke in the wheel. In the space, the palm oil space, the war in Russia
Yes.
had a direct impact
On palm
on that
oil.
industry,
Yes.
right? So at one point in time, Indonesia, which is the largest manufacturer of palm oil globally, decided that they were going to restrict the export of palm oil because they needed to keep it for their local supply.
Yes.
So adding all of that into the picture, it certainly was a difficult time, and we had to make some key decisions. One of which was, while the storm is happening, we also made the decision to ensure that our staff was still intact, and we didn't make any changes there. We did our forecast, right? And I think I must give kudos to Lisa Kong and the rest of the leadership team. And we estimated fairly well, I think, when things would probably start coming back to normalcy.
Okay.
And we took our hits, as you can see in our numbers. It was a rough period during COVID, a very rough period. But based on how things came back on track, we were able to negotiate with suppliers, seek alternative suppliers during that time. We're also able to manage our expenses in a different way. So operationally, we got very creative in terms of how we get goods out of our factory with the least amount of effort, with the least amount of energy. So it really forced us to become creative at the time. So what ended up happening was, with that creativity that we developed during that rough period, we have tried to maintain it. So we've tried to maintain these improved operations for production. And so while shipping prices are coming back down, raw material prices are kind of normalizing, we're also benefiting from the operational improvements that we've made. And ultimately, I think that's what helped us, along with our onboarding of new strategic customers, which is very great for our revenue. And
yeah, because
your
revenues went up, what, about some 65%?
Thereabouts.
When I look at your annual report, you're 800 and odd million this year.
No, yes. 867, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all of that put together, resulted in where we are now and us winning that award.
But let's talk about the numbers. How you manage to drive up, because so it's one thing to grow top line. Yes, you get new businesses, you see what is happening, you know what the needs are, but to get also big increase in the profit numbers is another thing, because in an inflationary environment, and that's worldwide, how you manage to keep those costs in check.
All right, and again, kudos to our finance team first and foremost, because they really watch those numbers. A big part of it for us was the sourcing of our raw material. I think for us, we have aligned with various suppliers globally who we have developed some very good relationships with. And the direction the company is going is one where we can agree as best as possible from an early stage with suppliers that this is our forecast for the year, this is what our outlook is, and we want to work with you. And so how can we make this a win-win for both of us? I think that's the first part. The second part is, in an inflationary period, the expectation and the desire is that everybody generally in the business space will understand what's happening. And so we have to be, while being very real with our customers, be very understanding as well. And at times it's important to explain to customers, to reason with them, and to share with them that, listen, this is what is happening globally.